something that's been happening in Argentina. There's a shift, a cultural shift. But there was a cheer on today. This was, I think, yesterday, and they got a hashtag trending. So this is my buddy Tepito, who is a YouTuber from Argentina. So what this reads is saying that Peronistas, which are fans of Peron, are going crazy with joy because they're going to have a production and they're going to have a black Evita Peron that is going to be portrayed by Ariana DeBose, which is a singer actress. We know her also because I think she was in So You Think You Can Dance, which we were a fan of. So she's going to be portraying Eva Peron in a new production, and they hashtagged, and now it actually trended so much that it became a hashtag all over the world. It's Eva siempre fue negra, which means Eva was always black, and of course they jest with the little with a portrait here of Eva in her uh, favorite kind of African garb, and so so this is coming from this story. Ariana DeBose reveals she's in talks to star in Evita at the London Palladium. So party notes from the Golden Globes. They were talking about this. So Ariana DeBose sure has some exciting news shared last night. Fingers crossed, come this summer she was starred in the Jamie Lloyd directed revival of Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber musical Evita. At the iconic London Palladium, she told me exclusively the Oscar winning star confirmed whispers I've been hearing on the grapevine, although she cautioned that she has to clear it first with producers and partners of other projects she's working on. We're 70% there, DeVos told me when she chatted at the Universal Film Entertainment Group party in Sunset Boulevard. Universal was celebrating the cinematic box office achievement for the win for the musical Wicked and other things. So the Bulls will play Eva Peron in Evita and the show's signature number, Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. So let's not shed too many tears for those that didn't take home hardware at the Golden Globes on Sunday night. Evita will play 12-week limited a season at the Palladium from June 14th through September 6th. Lloyd and the boys began their conversation after the director's version of Lloyd Webber's Sunset Boulevard started Nicole Schlesinger. I think she's the one for the Pussycat Dolls or whatever. Ran in London, and then Broadway is still playing. Harold Prince staged the original in 1978 production at the Prince Edward Theatre in London, produced by Robert Stingwell in association with Connie David Lang. It was stunning and massive hit for all concerned and launched Ellen Page as West End royalty. I watched from upper circle, yes, the cheap seat, although later I got seat from the stalls. DeBose believes, as I know Lloyd does, that if you're going to do a revival of a property that is well known and well loved, it's paramount to have new vision, a new way in for today's audience.
Yeah, but new
So
doesn't just mean gender swapping and color swapping.
what?
Evita Peron was not a woman of color. I mean, she was obviously Argentinian. She came from, I don't know a whole lot about her, but she did come from a family in which they were kind of like a satellite family of her wealthy dad who had two, he was basically cheating on his wife with her mom. And they didn't even know they were the second family until he died, and they found out that he was already married to someone else. So she grew up in a terrible situation like that, kind of scrappy, and then became, one of the most powerful women by marrying, Mr. Perón, and they ran Argentina almost into the ground.
Into the
But she
ground.
was not she was not black. I mean, she wasn't brown in her coloring. And I guess I can understand the sentiment of she was always black if they mean she always came from an oppressed environment in which she was an outcast and had to fight for everything, I guess. But I don't know how I feel about casting a black actress. And I don't know. It just seems like it's more of the same stuff we keep seeing. It's like this director says he wants to do something new. So is that the way? Like we're just tokens to you. Like just put a black face on it, and therefore now it's new. I mean, what is that?
Yeah, I mean, and we do see there's a lot of colorblind casting, should we say? Now it just feels like the colorblind casting is just casting, right? Now it's like where before it was like, okay, it's special. Maybe now it's no longer special, should we say, or should I mean, is it? It's a something that
I
now
mean,
is less than.
yeah, I mean, it definitely seems to me that it's not colorblind. It's very much wanting to put people of color in positions to thwart and undermine and kind of make a commentary about, again, like we talked about, so-called white privilege. It's not that you're just blind. It's not like Ariana Bose, no offense to her. Oh, she's just the best actress to play it. It just so happens she has darker skin. If that were the case, I'd buy it, but I don't think it's colorblind. I think they're deliberately picking somebody who's black. I think true colorblind casting, which I don't think really works for film because film is a realistic medium and you have to kind of have what was realistic. This is a historical figure and she's of recent enough memory. People might remember what she looks like. If you want to go back in time 4,000, 5,000 years, and pick some person, from some place and make them a different color. Yeah, we don't know what they look like. Sure. I mean, it might take some suspension of disbelief if you pick someone from, I don't know, Iceland and say they were black, but maybe, okay, we'll take it. I mean, it goes back so far, it's almost like mythology. But Eva Peron was around what, the 30s, 40s?
Yeah,
People are going to remember that. You probably, your grandparents, if they're still alive, might remember that, or great grandparents. So it's like, it's a recent memory. There was already photography. It's like for theater, it makes sense because, honestly, theater is not a realistic medium. It's not like we're trying to make you really seem like you're watching the real thing. It's just a pageant. It's a show. You know what? Put whomever you want in whatever role. You don't have to be, being very realistic. I mean, you see stage shows where like to represent water, you might have a blue, a blue cloth across the floor. That's like, okay, we get it. That's supposed to be water. And they keep walking over the cloth. I mean, that's what theater is, right? I mean, I've done theater. That's what theater is. But it's not, it's really not meant to be realistic. So if you just want to say, look, this actress came in, I'm casting for Evita. She's the best one we got. She can sing the part. Okay, fine. But if you're doing a film, it seems like you just showed her picture, Fletcher. I don't. Now the girl is not that dark. I mean, they could probably lighten
yeah,
her
she's
skin a
pretty
little
light
bit
skinned.
to make her look like the real Eva, who wasn't very fair. I mean, after all, she was Argentinian. They tend to be a little more swarthy,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
and
look,
sporty. Yeah,
she's morena. She's not super super white. Maybe not really morena, but she has dark hair and her skin is not very pale. But I think you could have picked someone closer to her complexion than just a straight up black person, light skinned black even. There are black people her color, the color of Eva
oh yeah,
Peron. There are black
completely.
people her
Yeah,
color. They could have gone with that. So I feel like they're just making a statement. And it's like more of the same stuff that we are, dealing with that we don't want. I say tell the story differently. If you want to tell the story differently, tell it from her perspective, because oftentimes we're hearing it from the husband's perspective, or tell it from the perspective of, like, say, a maid in their household, what she saw. If you want to do something different, go for it. Really do something different. Be like William Faulkner in Sound and the Fury, telling the story of this, ancient but falling on hard times white Southern family from the view of their black maid, who ends the final part of the book explaining everything you didn't understand along the way. If that's what you're going to do that.
like, share, and subscribe, fam.